and welcome back to What the Food, the podcast that uncovers the history of the world through the lens of food. My name is Miles Dickinson, as always, here with Andy Cantor and Dom Gray, and welcome to part 2 of A History of Sushi. We went to some places last episode. We went over to Southeast Asia. You know, we learned the bombshell that sushi isn't really Japanese. I mean, I'm still kind of reeling from that.
Yeah, so it's just another form of cultural appropriation on the Japanese heart.
Yeah.
Cultural appropriation from them, though, I'd say.
They're the naughty ones.
Who else? We had the camp man, Hayoshi. What was he called? Hayoshi.
Yohei.
Inventor of nigiri.
Nigiri.
He was a character.
He was. We made him one, yeah.
Yeah, he was probably a really normal bloke.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going straight back into it. If you haven't listened to part 1, go and listen to part 1, because otherwise you wouldn't open a Harry Potter novel and start in the middle, would you? So what are you doing?
No.
Start at the beginning. So for a long time, sushi was seen as a cheap snack. Like we said before, roadside stalls for the people, cheap snack on the way to work.
Yeah, that's why I got that 24-piece for myself, that platter.
Yeah.
It's a food for the people. It's cheap, it's accessible, it's easy, you can eat with your hands, it's sociable.
So,
that's why. Yeah. So that's why I did it.
You're going to find out soon that that's not at all the culturally accepted amount, but you go, girl.
Right.
Could you have done a full shift at work after that 22 pieces of sushi, you think?
Honestly, yes. I was bouncing. I felt great because I'd only started with the miso.
Okay.
I didn't have a full starter, and that was difficult because everyone else was ordering really luscious looking starters.
Nice.
But I went reserved with the miso, which was delicious, by the way.
You add up that family size sushi platter.
I just had one mind on it.
Straight in your basket.
I locked in, waited, and it came, and I fucking devoured.
You're just talking to yourself. Show some self-control there.
Yeah.
Bit of restraint. Just miso to start. Good
Don't
things
ask for some
come to
Joe
those who
chickens.
wait.
I don't need them. Yeah.
Did you get a bit of FOMO when them starters arrived?
Oh yeah, John and Anne got this like sharing platter, and it came and it had like loads of stuff on it, like chicken satay, tempura prawn, tempura vegetables. Had like these Japanese chicken bites and stuff on it. I was like salivating. Yeah, but I just stuck to it, and it paid off.
There you go. Paid dividends.
Yeah,
you're the hero in this story, Miles. You're the hero.
It's me. It's all about me.
It's you. Yeah.
It was funny because Anne, Joe's mum, she's never had miso soup before, and she just doesn't like the look of it with the kind of floating bits of seaweed and the chunks of tofu in there and stuff. So, but I said, Anne, come on, just smell it. Just smell it. I'm telling you, it's like salty, umami, brothy water. It's delicious. It's really Moorish. Just smell it. You don't have to try it. She lifted it up and smelled it. She was like, oh God, no, it's not that bad. I don't know. She said it was really fishy, apparently, but
wow. Is there any fish in miso soup?
I don't think, unless they flavour some of it with dashi, but I don't know if they do.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
You've obviously got that kind of sea kelpy stuff in there, which gives off a bit of kind of sea flavour, but I don't know. It's not overtly fishy dish, is it? Really, miso soup?
Yeah, she was repulsed by it. She just
repulsed. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we ordered some food. She got a Thai curry. It was a bit too hot. That was another thing. But
in a Japanese restaurant.
Yeah, well, yeah, and exactly. There's a little bit right at the back of the menu which had a couple of Thai curries on it, and
next to the omelettes and fish finger and chips.
Yeah, exactly. Chicken nuggets and chips.
Well, a food critic in the 1930s had a similar level of disdain as Anne did for these sushi restaurants, because they were, like I said, they were seen as a cheap snack back then. And this food critic, Matsuge Denmin, described these cheap kind of sushi stalls as deplorable scenes as young hoodlums stuffing their faces were found within.
Wow, he hates that, doesn't he?
That's you, Miles.
Yeah.
You're in there. That's Anne looking at you, mate.
That's my mother-in-law judging me.
Wow. Deplorable hoodlum.
Wow, this guy really hates them. I guess anything new, I think if anyone's going to struggle with new things that kind of might jeopardize the tradition, it's Japanese people, isn't it, really?
Yep. You're right. And as we've seen so often as well, good food starts with poor people.
Yeah.
Peasants. Yeah, exactly. And it takes a while for these rich folk to cotton on how good this gran is. And in terms of when did sushi, because sushi's posh now, right? I think
it's maybe getting a bit more mainstream now, but like for a while it was like considered like a fancy food, right? Because I think if you're eating something raw, I think there's just the sort of back of your mind thing of being like, oh, they've got to run a tight ship and it's got to be very clean and stuff so that people don't get sick.
And you pay for that kind of extra service, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I feel like when we were growing up 20 years ago, sushi, we didn't have sushi here. It wasn't a thing. I don't think, especially where we grew up in the Northwest, it just wasn't a thing.
Which is a shocker with like Fleetwood's fish market. It was just there to be taken advantage of.
Maybe.
I don't know about that.
I feel like the past 10 years, sushi's popularity has peaked, I'd say. And I feel like that coincides as when it was added to Tesco meal deal.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's when it's become mainstream. You're right.
Popularised it
luxury as well. At the same time, its popularity has grown exponentially, and also its luxury has fallen in correlation to that.
Yeah, but when you go to a really good sushi place, I think you are still paying for it, aren't you? If you go in to get it properly done.
Oh yeah.
It is still a little bit more expensive, and I think it's what you said, Dom. I think it's that extra level of kind of care and precision, and it's that you pay for. I think it takes a bit of extra time to prepare and all of that.
Yeah, sure. So in terms of in Japan, when it became posh, it was after World War II, and that was when food stands were restricted in Japan, and sushi essentially was forced indoors.
Right. Okay. No more sushi outside.
Yeah, rationing. Can't be having these food stands anymore. You need to be having proper restaurants, centralized places, so we can kind of control food.
Well, hygiene as well. I mean, you've got flies and stuff outside, haven't you? I feel like sushi kind of should really be made inside in a sterilized environment.
Notoriously, flies never come inside, so that's why they come inside.
That is true. That's a fact.
Well, because you put those beads up, don't you, across doors?
Yeah, you do. And they see them beads and they're like, whoa,
I'll leave that.
Yeah,
these people are going to be well weird. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah. So we've got rationing, and to get around rationing, rice rationing in particular, the locals or Japanese folk introduced a real kind of ingenious deal. And essentially what the Sushi Association would do.
There's a mouthful. Sean was knocking at the door there.
No. Let me just read verbatim what I've wrote here. Ready? A sushi association successfully lobbied the government.
There's something like 10 S's in the in that sentence or something. Wow.
Set yourself up to fail there.
Yeah, I really have.
Sushi Association successfully.
So they lobbied the government, and they lobbied them to let them serve customers who brought their own rice to the restaurant.
Right, okay.
So in a way to kind of get round rice rationing, they were like, government, if people bring their own rice to us, that doesn't count within the rice rationing. So we can continue to serve people sushi at our restaurant as long as they bring their own rice.
Okay. Kind of ingenious idea of getting around the kind of red tape of that.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to like what comes next there, Milo. As ingenious as you think that idea is, just you wait, sir.
So a standard measure of rice that a customer brought with them would get them 10 pieces of sushi.
10, is that it?
Which helps establish the 10-piece serving as standard from there on in.
you just had
why have you done me like that?
2.5 person standard serving, basically.
Why have you done that? I literally started this series out by telling you I'd have 24-piece sushi platters to myself. Oh, God, I'm over double.
Yeah.
Over double.
Yeah. So
I am such a fat white man.
you've booked the standard for sure. But
times are changing,
That is true.
Body positivity, I'm thick, not fat.
Dear.
Oh, what the hell? No, 10's not enough. That's just going to leave me wanting more. That's a starter.
Yeah, 10's a starter.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, anyway, talking about standards in the industry, another standard that you might think of. What do you think of when you think sushi restaurant, Milo? What's a sort of standard thing you might see in there?
Sharp knives, sushi chef, wooden surface.
Getting there, but those are in all restaurants. Those are in a lot of restaurants. What's something that you really only see in sushi restaurants, really?
Raw fish.
Again, raw fish.
No, they're in restaurants, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in restaurants.
I'm thinking about how the plate gets to you.
On a conveyor belt.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. And that, that in your mind's eye. Maybe not in Milo's mind's eye, because it took a little while to get there. But usually, if you're picturing a sushi restaurant, you're picturing a little conveyor belt. And the first person to do that was Yoshiaki Shiraishi.
Yeah,
I don't think I was close to that one, actually. I thought I was close. In my head, I'd read it. I thought I was there.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
So many vowels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to try again. Wait for it. Yoshiaki Shiraishi.
That's even worse. Even worse.
Why did you put the inflection on? You like paused and then changed the way you were saying.
Yeah, just give it a go. Go on then, Andy. Hit us with it.
Yoshiaki Shirashi.
Same as what I said. And he put the first conveyor belt in his sushi restaurant named Genroku Sushi. How good was that? And do you want to know where it was? It was in Higashi, Osaka. I'm basically Japanese. Come on.
Wow. Basically.
There's some of
I don't
those
really
are quite
like
good.
these. I don't really like these conveyor belts. I don't know. When I close my eyes and think of a really nice sushi restaurant, I'm thinking like, wooden, kind of like lowly lit. You've got a sushi bar and you kind of sit up against the bar and a guy serves it right in front of you. I don't know. This kind of like Yo Sushi kind of plastic bowl thing just is not.
I think
not my
that's-
style.
Yeah, I think that's the sort of transition from the sort of artisan approach to the more sort of fast food, standardized, come and get your scran. Because that's usually how, in those conveyor belt sushi restaurants, that's usually how they work out your final bill by the colour of your plates. So you can just, quick in and out, turn up with your plates. I've had 4 greens, 2 blues and 3 reds. Or in Milo's case, I've had 14 blues, 7 greens and 6
Yeah. I mean, I guess the conveyor belt makes sense. You've got a sushi chef or chefs working hard and just putting up plates onto that belt and it's going around and you just pick off what you want. It's logistically a good
it just
idea.
feels a bit impersonal though, doesn't it? I do get your reservations.
I want the guy to fucking stare me down and hand me a nigiri.
So I feel like Yo Sushi is a lot of white people's and Westerners in general. That's their first touch point for sushi.
Could be.
I think.
Well, post Tesco meal deal, I think. It's the next elevation of that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I can get this at Tesco well cheaper. What the hell?
Yeah. I feel like I've seen, and the only times I've been to Yo Sushi, I've been like a couple of times. I feel like every time I've been there, I've seen usually divorced dad with their family, the son, that's been dragged there by the son. He's got no interest in eating raw fish at all. And he looks miserable there. And all this stuff is just passing around. And he's got no idea what it is whatsoever. And he's only here because the kid's here. He's having a terrible time. And he gets to pay. And it's 60 quid.
Yeah. And he turns to the chef. Have you got any mains? Just like a chow mein or something?
Exactly. Any hot food going around on this conveyor belt? No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, God.
No, Derek.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, it's kind of fast, convenient. It's somewhere to pop in when you're out shopping. It's that. I think it's kind of quite self-aware, isn't it? It knows what kind of purpose it's serving. Yo Sushi. It's not trying to be high end. It's kind of just delivering you cheap, quick sushi, I guess.
But this first one dates all the way back to 1958. That's how long it's been a thing.
Wow. Yo Sushi in particular.
Not Yo Sushi. Just the first conveyor belt.
That was Yoshiaki Shiraishi.
Right. Okay. So in the 50s, they've got conveyor belts doing bits.
Cool. Yeah. So we've got the conveyor belts, and we've also got the rise of refrigeration becoming a lot more popular and a lot more available to restaurant owners during the 60s. And this is where we kind of see finer and more artisan chefs entering the world of sushi because they can use fresher fish and because it requires more kind of skills to be able to, what's the word where you cut a fish open?
Fillet.
Not butcher, fillet. It requires more skills to fillet fish and to get it into a position that is servable to restaurant.
Yeah. And it takes great skill because you're doing it there and then as well, aren't you? It's
exactly.
Like
this is when that happens.
Fake it. Yeah.
This is when the focus turns to skill, freshness, and artistry. This is when, around the
Yeah.
60s. This is also when we start to see omakase enter the realms. Have you heard of omakase before?
It rings a bell, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Roughly, it translates to "I'll leave it up to you."
Right, okay. Build your own. Build a bear. Here's sushi deconstructed. Off you go.
I don't think anyone has ever gone into a Build-A-Bear and just said, "I'll leave it up to you," to the person behind the counter.
I don't know. I could think of somebody. Whatever's easiest.
Yeah. You might as well just go and buy a fucking bear somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. A pre-made one.
Yeah. No, omakase, which translates to "I'll leave it up to you," is essentially a dining experience where you leave it up to the chef to curate a multi-course menu.
Oh, nice. Okay. Which is kind of what I would do anyway. I think that'd be my default position.
Yeah.
Trust the guy who makes the stuff,
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You trust in the chef, and you trust in that he has got in the freshest produce, the best produce, and he knows how to deal with it and make it the best it can be. So have at it. And this is where we get the likes of Jiro Ono from Jiro Dreams of Sushi, famous documentary about this. At the time, he was old. Now he's even older. He's still alive. He's 99 years old, and he's turning 100 in October this year.
Oh, come on, mate.
No way.
Let's make it.
Yeah. Shout out.
Jiro.
I wonder if he shares a birthday with me.
No, 27th of October.
Oh, what a loser.
Turning 100.
Yeah, turning 100. And he's fed the likes of Obama and Obama.
I think I've read something about this guy. Is it that when they knew that Obama was going over to Japan, they kind of all voted, did they? Like all the government officials kind of voted on the best representation of Japanese sushi that they could muster, and they landed on his place. There was a lot of pressure because Obama is already quite a big fan of sushi. He grew up in Hawaii, didn't he?
Hawaii.
So, loads of sushi. So there was kind of that added pressure of like, oh my God, we need to send him to a sushi restaurant, but it needs to be amazing.
Yeah.
And I think he came out afterwards and said that it was the best sushi he's ever had, I think.
In his life. Yeah.
In his life.
Wow. I loved it. But it's safe to say that this man, Jiro, maybe Obama as well, but especially Jiro, lives and breathes sushi. Managed to find a lovely little quote which kind of really emphasizes this from Jiro himself.
Even at my age, after decades of work, I don't think I have achieved perfection, but I feel ecstatic all day. I love making sushi. That's the spirit of the shokunin.
Shokunin translates to craftsman or artisan.
Oh,
it's a good headspace to be in. Sounds like he's dedicated to his craft.
But he doesn't think that he's achieved perfection yet. And I think that's the key, isn't it? That there's always room for improvement.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's shokunin is quite interesting. It kind of embodies like a strong sense of like social obligation and like a dedication to perfecting your craft in the betterment of others so that they can enjoy it as well.
Wow. Okay.
And there's like a real emphasis on the quality that you're producing and how that quality contributes to society.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Which is cool.
It sounds similar to Ikigai. That might be like the similar term. I read a book about that, and that's a similar thing where it's like people choose to do something with their life, and it doesn't matter how insignificant it seems, just do it to the best of your ability and you will become successful.
Yeah,
just find perfection in it. Yeah. It's a Japanese kind of methodology.
Could do with more of that. Funny one. Jiro, second name, Ono. Wonder if he's related to Yoko Ono.
Could be a popular name over there, though.
Probably.
Ono.
Probably.
Yeah. Could be like Smith.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
They're Smith, isn't it?
Could be like Seabass, yeah. That's a little throwback to the last episode. If you haven't listened, go back, give it a listen. It was a funny one.
Get your ass back over there.
Talking of funny ones, obviously when you think in sushi, you said it earlier, Milo, you're thinking maybe a bit of salmon. You're thinking maybe a bit of salmon roe, which is the little legs. That's quite iconic, isn't it? But not as iconic as you'd think in Japanese culture, especially not back in the day before they could make sure that it wasn't full of marine parasites, because raw salmon flesh can contain them. I'm not even going to try and say the first bit, but nematodes is the second bit that can cause. Okay, I'm going to have to say the first bit because of what they can cause. So they may contain anisakis nematodes that can cause anisakasitis lots of S's.
Like a psoriasis.
But anyway, basically, just basically could make you ill. Think Milo after he's had his oysters on our walking holiday. Not good. And before you could get your refrigeration to stop that kind of silliness, they just steer clear of raw salmon because of that. So that only really came into your textbook sashimi and that kind of do's after the 1980s, and that's because on the other side of the planet, over in Norway, they were out there doing their farming of salmon. And salmon, they love to reproduce. They reproduce at quite a hefty rate. So they had a fair amount of parasite-free salmon, and they're looking around saying, who wants it? Who wants it? We've got a load that we want to sell. And so looked around, and they were like, oh my God, there's a country over here that love eating raw fish. And we've got a load of raw fish. And so, struck a big old deal with a Japanese company named Nishi-Iri. I think that was better. And they shot them 5,000 tons of salmon. And would you believe it? 5,000 tons of salmon. That's a lot of salmon. So, caught on.
I could chuck it away.
Yeah, I bet you could. I don't doubt it. But that caught on, and the rest is history, as they say. That's not a plug for another podcast. Fuck off, mate.
Oh, God.
Until they plug us.
Say those words on this.
Until they plug us, they can fuck off.
They're banned words on it.
But
I think it's interesting that like the refinement of sushi kind of coincides with technology, isn't it? It's like refrigeration and the ability to kind of grow fish without these parasites and the kind of cleanliness and all that. It's interesting that the refinement of it kind of coincides with that technological increase as well.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Very fascinating.
Yeah, it blew my mind that like the whole reason, or one of the main reasons why we have salmon sushi today is because Norway sold a load of surplus salmon that they farmed to Japan. It's just like bonkers.
Madness.
So they just weren't. So salmon just wasn't a mainstay over there then at that point.
No,
they obviously
they were
cooking it, but not fresh.
But it wasn't.
Raw. They were cooking it, but they didn't consume it raw because of the parasites that were in the water at that time, or that was infecting some of their fish, mainly because of the lack of refrigeration.
Yeah, basically the cooking kills those parasites, but if you just raw dogging it, you're eating the parasite. It's still alive, basically, in the fish.
Wow. So Norway were just like, look, we've got all this surplus, fresh, raw salmon. So they kind of, is this kind of what then got them hooked by eating this raw salmon? They were like, we need to get our shit together and start doing this.
And I'd imagine it was probably potentially a little bit cheaper than some of the fish because there was a surplus of it. Supply, demand, that kind of do.
Yeah. And it just goes well with sushi rice salmon, because you're looking for those fishes that are kind of a bit more fatty, got a bit more flavour to them. You're not having like I don't know, I was going to say you're not having like plain cod, but I guess there is some cod ones, isn't there?
It does look good as well, though. Like, if you think about it just from like an aesthetic point, like that pinky orange flesh pops against the white rice better than just a white fish, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And tuna, that's a fatty, flavourful meat as well that goes on there.
And again, it's nice, colourful meat, isn't it? Nice sort of red. So
yeah. So it's, there's a trend with the kind of fish that's being used for sushi that kind of complements the rice. They're kind of very flavourful, fatty, and delicious. Mackerel, that's a big one as well, isn't it?
Mackerel is a big one.
There's another one, a dark meated fish. Lots of flavour.
Lots of flavour. Well, speaking of cod, so I think we mentioned it on part one, but one of the probably strangest, or definitely rarest and definitely strangest types of sushi that I came across when doing some of the research for this was funa sushi, which we definitely quoted on the previous episode.
Oh yeah, I remember.
What this is it's a rare type of sushi that is prepared specifically in one region of Japan, which is near Lake Biwa in the Shiga prefecture. 18 generations of this family, the Kitamura family, have been preparing the dish at their homestead in Kitashina since 1619. So this has been going on a long time.
They have to do it at the gaff,
Have to do it at the gaff.
Raw fish at the gaff. Can they not get elsewhere?
Stinky house.
No, yeah.
I'm trying to sleep more. I can smell his fish.
Well, how they make it is, it's fucking mental. So they get fresh funa, which is a type of carp,
Fun.
Crucian carp.
Fun fact, when I was reading through this script, I thought that you'd just had a typo when you were typing tuna. And I was like, hey, he's gone with fun tuna, funa. But no, it's not.
Yeah, it's a Japanese word for Crucian carp, which is a freshwater carp. So they get this carp, they scale it, and they gut it through the gills or the throat so that they keep the whole body and the roe intact.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
That's going to be some precise cuts, hasn't it? To be able to like just nick it in there, get it out the gills. Yeah. Christ.
Yeah. Mental like craftsmanship to get this, all of the guts out of the throat or the gills. Gills are small.
Yeah.
Very small. Yeah. Once that's done, that laborious process is done. The fish are then packed with salt and aged for a year before being repacked annually in fermented rice for up to 4 years.
It's a 5-year process.
You're in the bed. You're in your bedroom here as well.
Yeah,
in the house
under your bed.
Yeah.
So you're in your bedroom as well doing all this
for 5 years until you can enjoy. Maybe not the right word. Until you can chomp down, this 5-year-old fermented Crucian carp.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah, sounds like a lot of effort.
Yeah, I can see why it hasn't caught on. You can see why it's a bit more like an artisanal, done in one place in the world by one family. Nobody else is as weird as the Kitamura family.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like Shutter Island. At the end, they'll realise they're in like an asylum and they've just let them crack on making this horrible fish in their house. Do you know what I mean?
They don't kick off much. We just give them a bunch of salt. We let them catch their own fish. Bit weird how they prep them. But he keeps them quiet. We've not had any kicking off. We've not had to send the orderlies in 50 years. Completely mental.
We pack it onto a cart and we wheel it out of there and we tell them that it's off to the market.
Straight in the bin.
And we tell them out, just straight into the bin.
It's absolutely revolting.
Not had the heart to tell them this entire time. Like for almost 500 years. Just no one's had the heart to tell them.
You've kept whole cities alive with your fish. Crack on.
Oh, you guys, absolute selfless work. Thanks. Keep going.
The Emperor is really happy with you guys.
Really happy.
He's coming. I swear. I know I've been saying it for 500 years. He is coming.
Any day now. He's just too busy enjoying your fish. It's that good. It's keeping him away.
Too busy enjoying your fish.
Just constantly enjoying it.
Oh dear.
To be fair though, this is probably their equivalent to cave cheese, right?
Yeah.
They don't have dairy and stuff, so they're not making kasumatsu or blue cheese or anything of that ilk. So this is their version of that, I suppose.
Yeah, this is their version of getting a bit weird with it.
Yeah, getting a bit groovy with it. There's always this one fucking family that just goes too far and they happen to live on Lake Biwa.
Yeah. That's it. Oh dear.
Yeah. I'm imagining these guys look like Leatherface's family, you know.
Yeah.
You know, in an old battered house somewhere.
Yeah. You're probably not too far away. No, I'm sure that they're a lovely family and they're craftsmen that have perfected this over the years.
Yeah.
But not
we
for
wouldn't
me.
understand.
Not for me. But talking about not for me, I'm sure that that's what a lot of us Westerners were saying when sushi started coming our way. Because to put it succinctly, it was a bit of a slow burn. It didn't catch on straight away. You've got the first Japanese-owned restaurant in America, Kame restaurant.
Nice.
A good bit of Japanese there, guys. Thank you. Pat on the back. And that opened in City of Angels, Los Angeles in 1885. So I'd imagine it would have been a bit Wild Westy over there, that sort of time, are we thinking?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a funny little mental image, isn't it? Little cowboy popping in for a little nigiri. But anyway.
I'm not sure if he would have had nigiri.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that he wouldn't. He probably had the bloody Funa sushi or whatever, shipped it in from across.
What's this foreign mug?
Well,
chewing on his tobacco.
Yeah, it was almost that because, early on, a little bit cautious. And the 1957 Los Angeles Times article explained sushi to its readers, defining it as
rice sandwich that is popular with natives and visitors.
Which, it's it's not giving us a lot to go off of other than a little
Rice
bit
sandwich.
of light racism with the natives comment. But
Yeah, exactly.
A rice sandwich doesn't sound great, does it? It's like it's like the Japanese version of like a crisp sandwich. Like you've got nothing else in the house, so you're just putting carbs on carbs, but it's not even as good as that because you're not getting like salt and vinegar rice here. So
No, and they've got it wrong anyway because they're not like topping and tailing fish with rice. So they've just taken a little glance at it and been like, "Yeah, that's a rice sandwich." I don't know, closest thing to it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't speak Japanese. I don't know what this is.
I ain't a native. It's like a sandwich to me.
oh dear. The food critic Craig Claiborne. Far easier for me to say. Still almost positive.
That wasn't easy.
Well,
I was easy for you.
I mean, I've got to be honest. I was expecting an R in there, but it's Claiborne, but like
Claiborne.
Clay spelled AI. So I'm pretty sure he dropped an R somewhere in the middle there because it should be Claiborne. Let's be honest. Anyway, Claiborne. He wrote in 1963 that sushi was still too far out for most New York diners. But
Far out?
Yeah, not
Far out.
Far out as in cool. I think a bit more far out as in a bit exotic.
Yeah.
But by
Far right.
1966...
Get as far away from me as you can.
But by 1966, so just in time for us winning the World Cup, he noted that New Yorkers were eating raw fish with a gusto once reserved for cornflakes. So,
Whoa.
they're getting in it. That's only 3 years. So it didn't take long, really, once the ball was rolling.
But that's the thing, like it's an alien concept when you don't know how it tastes. But then when you taste it, it kind of starts to make sense in your mouth.
Go on, then. Exactly.
It works.
But yeah, so the big breakthrough, I bet you can guess it, the big breakthrough for sushi in the West was the California roll. And Rath explains the origin story.
Oh shit, it's me, is it?
Eric. Back to
Eric, he's back once again.
They say the roll was an attempt to make sushi palatable for white America, especially by turning the rice inside out to hide the nori.
So yeah,
Wow.
sounds like they're
Hiding it.
doing anything to get rid of this exotic look and just kind of hide it away.
It's quite unappealing, isn't it? To look at just nori,
Yeah.
especially if you've never seen it before. It just looks like a plastic sheet almost, plastic sheet, and like it's weird when you touch it. It's like it bends weird.
It's like iridescent. It's like changes colour when you look at it in different light.
Yeah, we'll probably do the whole episode on the California roll because I think it's quite disputed, the actual inventor of it.
Really?
And there's a lot of beef between different LA restaurants and LA sushi chefs on who invented it. So we'll dive into that.
A bit more of a deep dive.
Yeah. Interesting though that they turned it inside out because I thought that was just like an aesthetic thing to make it look a bit cool, but they're kind of hiding it for the people that aren't used to seeing it. That's interesting.
Yeah, and this sort of inauthentic. Would it not be unauthentic?
Inauthentic.
Is it inauthentic? Perfect.
I think it is, yeah.
In, under, over, around,
whatever. Anyway, the inauthentic roll, contained all sorts of things like cream cheese, fried shrimp, or even pastrami. So it's not really Japanese, is it, anymore? But
No.
as we've covered many a time on this podcast, these Americans like weird stuff, don't they? So doesn't surprise me.
There's a place in York, a sushi restaurant that has a Yorkshire platter, and on that platter there is roast beef sushi. Literally,
What's that?
exactly what
What
you
is
think
that?
it is. A nigiri instead of a bit of salmon on top. You've just got a slice of roast beef.
No.
It's like a sushi restaurant, so they do like proper nigiri and maki and all that sort of stuff as well. But you can also get roast beef. Your
Why are they doing that? Why are they stupid? I feel like that's like to appease the visitors, isn't it? That's a tourist thing to order.
That's for white people. Yeah,
That's for the white people coming to York. Oh, that is just upsetting. I mean, they can't feel good making that either, especially if they are Japanese.
Yeah,
like
that's a soul destroyer.
They're crying whilst they're making that, aren't they?
ancestors are turning in their graves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's not good. It's not good. But yeah, the California roll really put sushi center stage for the world, for the rest of the world, and quickly it spread like wildfire in a way.
Can't say
I
that
feel like
about California, mate. Did you not just see the Palisades have just burnt down and now you're getting wildfire?
That was my
It's nasty.
my joke.
It's bad.
But especially so, yeah, the spread was huge, and especially so once social media rolled around.
Yep.
And people were able to get a glimpse of what good sushi was meant to look like and how it was meant to be served and how it was meant to be eaten. But despite all that, it didn't grow without its stumbles. People still continue to this day to make mistakes when eating sushi.
Me included.
You included, me included to some extent. And
Turned
probably
into an
you.
AA meeting, this, hasn't it? A little bit.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah.
I'm Miles, and I ate sushi by mixing my wasabi with my soy sauce. Nice
That's a
to
horror-
meet you guys.
Yeah, that's a horrible mistake that chefs. If you went to Jiro's restaurant
Oh, yeah.
and you did that in front of him, he'd probably die. Actually, is what would happen.
He is close.
Yeah,
to
he
doing.
wouldn't get to 100, would he?
No, you'd finish him off.
The man who killed Jiro.
Yeah, but we've managed to find a great quote from Eric, which kind of gives us a bit more flavour behind this common mistake that people do.
The custom of filling the dish used for soy sauce with a mound of wasabi before mixing it into a slurry in which to dunk and saturate the sushi is anathema.
Yep.
Mixing it into a slurry in which to dunk and saturate the sushi is anathema.
Anathema, and it means
Thema.
something or someone that vehemently dislikes.
Right. Okay. Mound of wasabi before mixing it into a slurry in which to dunk and saturate the sushi is an anathema because it destroys the subtle taste of the fish and dilutes the wasabi.
Exactly. So you're basically watering down this beautifully seasoned rice and this wonderfully prepared piece of fish with a shitload of salt and horseradish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Just
ruining
making
it.
it a proper salt bomb. I think it's because of the way that sushi looks in its default state, looks like it shouldn't taste good. It looks like it shouldn't be too powerful a flavour. And I think that's the whole point, isn't it? That it is those subtle flavours that you're supposed to be tasting.
Delicate.
Yeah,
It's delicate.
more delicate.
Yeah. Whereas I think it's quite a Western thing to be like, where's the sauce?
Yeah.
That, you know,
100%. 100%.
doesn't always need sauce.
Doesn't always need sauce. And it's always a good laugh seeing someone who's never tried wasabi before, trying a bit of wasabi. That's always a
Shoveling it
fun.
down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They get like a massive bit and they're like, oh yeah, I'll try this. I think it's like a bit of like avocado or
Pea puree.
pea puree. Yep. Pea puree is always on menus.
Always.
Always. But chopsticks as well.
Yep.
People are not great at using chopsticks. Cross them over all the time. They should never cross. You've got to hold them right, hold them correctly in this little bank of your finger here and another one kind of up here. I'll teach you one day. Don.
hope so.
I'll teach when I'm teaching my daughter that's born in October. I'll teach you the same thing.
Gender reveal, everybody, that's a gender reveal live on Wonder Food. It's a gender reveal. I was hinting
But also
all night
rip.
with this coloured top.
But also ripping you at the same time. Don't
Yeah,
say
no,
who's going to
I'm-
teach you.
mate, I live to be ripped. It's fine, don't worry. But no, I look forward to learning any day
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, you'll
We
be
get
like,
those little-
choo-choo is coming. And it's just Dom.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andy.
And there we have it. The history of sushi, from a stinky, practical way of preserving some dodgy, muddy river fish
Yeah.
to a global culinary icon that, hot off the press, the world's best sushi restaurant is opening in London this summer. 3 Michelin stars. It's opening in August. Would you like to have a guess at how much the omakase experience is priced at?
Oh,
this new
probably
restaurant?
like $11.99 each.
Almost. Yeah, almost. Miles, would you like to guess?
Experience makes me worried. That word sounds like it could be like, it could start the day before. They could bring some
Yeah,
geishas
24 hours.
round to the gaff to give you a little bath before you go and stuff. I don't know. How
Yeah.
far do you go with this experience? When you said $11.99, Dom, you mean like £11.99?
Yeah, I was pissing. I think Andy's going to say like take out the decimal point, and it's like
Yeah.
11,000 or like 1,199 or something. But
Where's the ceiling on this? Where is the ceiling on this? I'm going to say £250. I mean, that would still be massively expensive, but
Okay, so double that up
500.
and add and add 50.
550.
550.
Oh, okay.
Yep. £550 for the omakase experience. But wait, if you weren't happy with that, you could go for the exclusive Hinoki counter experience. And for that, you're looking at £700
Nice.
Oh my God.
per person.
That's
So
not.
we're going to start a GoFundMe. And if you guys can send us down there, we'll do a live stream of that experience. All three of us. If we only make 700, then we will live stream a wrestling competition. Greco-Roman wrestling, bottle of olive oil, Miles's back garden. Let's go.
What?
Yeah,
Beautiful.
we're having it.
Nice.
How's this restaurant? How's this sushi restaurant got 3 Michelin stars if it's not opened yet?
The one in America has new.
Oh, right. Okay. The franchising out.
Yeah, over there you can get suramai masa pasta. Just had a brain fart. I used the word pasta then.
Of all the words in that sentence,
Pasta.
mate, you struggled with
I know.
pasta.
Well, just pasta and Japanese food. Just was like, what the fuck? That doesn't. That's
Your
not
brain
meant to do
didn't.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Peking duck tacos.
How have they got 3 Michelin stars?
Masa toro tartar, which is fatty tuna topped with caviar.
Tata.
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 So I mean, 3 Michelin stars. It's going to be good,
Yeah,
right? The process for getting them stars. I know it's gone downhill a little bit recently, but still good. Still good.
Yeah, definitely.
And all the seafood is flown in from Japan.
Classic.
Really?
So that's
Good
good
for the
wow.
planet.
They're pulling in some weight there. That's your ticket. That's your 550. That's the kerosene.
That's it, mate.
Oh, God. Wow. Well, yeah, let's do a GoFundMe. Let's get someone to pay for us to go. Ooh, a history of sushi part 2. There we have it. A big one. Sushi.
Big one. I'm just really hankering for some now.
Yeah.
I know.
Might get a
This
little
is the problem.
delivery.
Oh, come on. 24 piece platter. Yourself.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on. Oh, well, there we go. Thank you very much for sticking with us to the end of this series on sushi. We hope you enjoyed that as much as we did. Feel free to send us an email if you want to reach out and say hello. You can do that at whatthefoodpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us over on socials on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Share the podcast with a friend if you enjoy it. And don't forget to give us a rating where you listen to the show as well. So stay safe, and we will see you next week for another episode. Thank you for listening. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Ciao.
Bye.